Hi all. Right, back to. I never got back. Like I did say last night, I thought I was going to carry on, but I didn't. So it will be an Allied impulse. And there's a few things I'd like to bring up though. You'd be glad to hear. First of all, quickly, I'm just going to. Not that I need to really mention this to you. Some of the towns have the detachment actual markers on them, and I think it would be better actually if I put the wee brown cubes on the hexes in particular so that we can see that it is a town, just for looking at supply issues and, if Allied supply traceable to a German town, for instance. So I'm going to do that. There's two or three of them that I like that, and it's just, and I can use the detachments that I lift up just for, hexes like that are just clear. Okay, I've done that. Right, one thing I'd like to revisit just again was the placement of this reserved unit, and I know I went through it there because I thought I'd maybe made a mistake, but I'm just wondering if it's 12.21, I think it was, rings a bell. No, 12.21. So if there's more than one hex, it meets the requirements for the reserve coming to join the attack. Then you place the unit in a hex causing the defender to be surrounded. Well, the defender was surrounded. I don't want to put things back again, but just let it go over it here again quickly. So he was already surrounded, so we've not got a hex for there. And then it says then in a hex not across the river from the defender. So that tends to me to think that these two hexes are out and not being considered. But then the next part is then in an empty hex. And these were the only two empty hexes that we had. And I don't know if I'm just being daft with this one, but I'm just not grasping if, it says not in a hex across the river, so okay, they're out, but then in an empty hex, so do I then go back and then still consider them because they're empty? I feel like I'm being daft here and just not grasping how this should be. I mean, these sound like priorities, but then I don't know, it says then in a hex not across a river. Okay. You know what, I put a wee note in the video, I'm just uploading it just now, and maybe with my just discussion of it here, somebody can clarify how, if I'm reading that properly, that I would not consider these hexes at all because they are across the river, or I would initially not consider them because they're not across the river, but then the next part of the instruction is in an empty hex. Do I then go back and then consider them? I don't know, I feel like I'm having a bit of a dumb moment with this and not quite, I'm pretty sure it's straightforward and I'm probably doing one of my read into it too much situations. Okay, I'm just going to leave that one there. I'm leaving the unit where it is, and to be honest, if I don't think that video, or is that video uploaded? Maybe it is, and if Martin's already made a comment, which I'm going to bring up, if he's not commented on that, then maybe it's okay. Yeah, to be honest, he hasn't made a comment on that, so hopefully I have got that right, and I'm thinking about it right. Because he has made a comment on something else, which I suppose I can jump into now. I don't feel 100% wanting to agree with him here though, but well, I started thinking, no, I think I've got this right, Martin, and then I was thinking what he was saying. I've got his comment up there. So it was regarding the movement of this unit closing in on these units. Like this unit was causing surround. Now where was he? He was here, wasn't he? He was in 507, and that's just the core objective marker underneath, I think. Yeah, that is. So he was causing surrounding the two units. I mean, a few of these bracket units have moved since, but he was the only one that had a zone of control in the hex that he's actually in just now, causing the surround on these two units. And then I think initially I was going to move it into here because the tiebreakers are nearest your army objective. And then I chose to move it in here again because he was surrounding this unit and he was surrounding that unit, but he wasn't adjacent to either of them. If he'd moved into there, he would have been adjacent to that. But I kind of felt in the end, moving into there meant he was adjacent to both. But I think, to be honest, thinking about it again, I think Martin probably has this right after all, because he reckons it should have went into, what is it? 406, yeah, this hex here. Which is, I think, maybe what I initially thought, because that was the tiebreaker. And he says that his reasoning is, if it had been surrounding more than those two units, unlikely but possible, you wouldn't move to be adjacent to the most number of units. Well, that's true. That's not something you would bring into the consideration. And likewise, if hex 0506 had been across river, you wouldn't move there. In both cases, you would use tiebreakers. Well, he's right there as well. So it does seem. I think the thing that brings me back to it is you know, we're causing surround on that unit, and we're causing surround on that unit, and we can move adjacent to both of them if we move to that hex. But if we move to that hex, we're only moving adjacent to that. So that kind of feels like we're ignoring the instruction about this unit. But I can see what he's saying. Yeah. I can see what he's saying, because he's saying there, say we were surrounding three. Say for instance we were surrounding all three of the units with that unit, then we wouldn't be able to move adjacent to all three of them, would we? And that's a good point. So how would you decide that? You would have to then look at tiebreakers, wouldn't you? You know, whether you could say, well, that's adjacent to they two, that's adjacent to they two, and we tiebreak between the two, but that's starting to get a bit, starting to get a bit heavy, that, and I don't think that is right. Okay, well, to be honest, Martin does tend to come up with the right way of thinking, so I'm gonna go with what he says, even though at first I was maybe not gonna. I was gonna maybe stick with my own thinking, but I think thinking about that, like he said, if you were surrounding more than two units, you know, how would you decide? You know, you can't move adjacent to all three of them, so. Okay, we'll go with that, and that would have been the hex with the tiebreakers. And I don't believe nothing's changed since we moved that there. Oh, although, hold on. Yeah, these infantry units moved in. There's possible. Let me have a wee look back on that. Okay, so just checking back, that first infantry, bracketed infantry unit actually moved with the infantry move adjacent to Allied VP hex. So he was the one that was able to move to that. So that's right. So my guess is that these two are. Well, actually, I don't think. Oh, he came out and in, and just want to check that 20. Okay, yeah, this unit actually moved via his arrows. He was in this hex, and I think he went 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and 3 into there. So that would be right as well. And then this guy moved closer to his army objective by moving out and in into there. So it's not affecting anything, and we'll go with what Martin says there. He is making sense. You know, it feels like you want to try and get adjacent to the two units, but there's nothing in the rule that says that. And again, if there was 3 units, you couldn't get adjacent to them all. So how would you decide? So. Okay, we'll go with that. Right. Right, next. Okay, yeah, next one. Now, I think I mentioned this 2 or 3 times in the video, and I was trying to find the bits that I'd mentioned it, and I was going to put wee notes in, but there was about 3 different times I'd said it, maybe even more. And it was when I was moving this unit, after moving it to. Okay, hang on, he was there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I want to make sure I don't miss my spot here. Okay, so he had moved 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 into there. And then we talked about extending his move, and he extends it along to there. But multiple times I talk about, maybe not this bit, but I talk about now he could just extend his move by going 1 into here, following the primary arrow. Well, no, he can't do that because he can't move adjacent to an allied unit. That's right, isn't it, Grant? Yeah, it can't move adjacent to an allied unit, may not enter an allied town or city, and may not cross an allied bridge. Well, I talked plenty of times about the crossing of bridges. I mean, they couldn't go across that one, well, he ends his move in that hex. But I talk about that, but for some reason, I keep talking about being able to move down here, but that wouldn't be allowed because he's on the extended move part of the movement, and you can't do that. So I'll maybe put a wee note at the beginning of the video because I wasn't able to put wee notes. Actually, I think I said it maybe 3 or 4 times, and I don't make any of the moves that way. Obviously, this is the move that I make, and I'm pretty sure that's the right move. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Right, I think there was one more. Yeah, and I made a note of this, and yeah, this is a mistake. Which maybe some of you have noticed. Now I've added a wee note onto the video with this. Oh, well, I suppose you'll see the wee note, won't you? Although it's maybe not telling you how. Give me one of the cubes again. It was the movement of this unit here from La Roche. And I kept saying, well, he can move here, or he could move here, or he can move here. And he ends up moving here because that's the furthest. Sorry, just a wee bit. I want to keep that like that though, because that's closest to his army objective. But I'm just missing the supply trace. I'm looking at roads and not quite considering, because even moving there, Allied supply is traceable to that town, and no, he can't go through that road. No, he can't go across that way. And he can't come down this road because it crosses zone of control of this unit. But that's coming down the road. He can go 1, 2, trace into here without touching that hex. He can go 1, 2, and then he traces across an allied bridge. Now remember, this is detachments don't count, and then he's down into Bastogne, and then he can go off on the south. So yeah, I just missed it because I'm looking at the road, and the road goes into this hex, whereas I don't need to count the road. As long as I can count 4 hexes to reach a road, 1, 2, only need to count 2 into there, and then we're good. So I don't think he can move at all. I wondered if he could move there, but that's not closer to his army objective. So, you know, and any further he moves, then he can just trace the supply that I've just showed. So I'm putting him back to there because I don't think he's going to be able to make a move at all. Well, that was moving closer to army objective, so he wouldn't be able to infiltrate, and moving adjacent to an allied unit would again allow supply traceable to La Roche. So he's actually not going to have moved at all, and nothing else would have happened. He wouldn't bounce back to reserves because obviously he's protecting that hex as well. So yeah, just like I say, was just looking at the road and then realised, no, you don't need to bother about the road, Grant. Just count the 4 hexes, or in this case just 2 hexes. It was all it needed. Right, I think that was everything. Okay, Allied Impulse. Right, I think I'm going to activate the 12 core units since Verve's gone now, so there's no. I don't think there's a rush to try and do anything with the 5th Corps now, really. But yeah. Okay, now I was just about to move these infantry units up and thought, why not just put them in Ettlebrook? Oh, wait now, they're leaving zone of control, Grant. Oh, I'm not going to get one of them up there, am I? Ah, damn. Because I think my intention had been to try and rescue this guy by putting a unit in here or here and a unit in here so that he could trace supply, but I'm just realising I've got to break zone of control there. Yeah, that's annoying. That's making me start to think, where was it? I thought I could have put these units here, I think it was. I could have deployed them there, and that now looks like it would have been a better option, but oh well. However, right, I think I'm going to move these two back. 1, 2, and then 3 into the town here anyway. I was thinking about leaving one there because this guy, if they move up, this guy's maybe could get cut off. I do have the 8 Corps card in my hand, so I could maybe make a move at him. Oh, he's like, it's 4 movement into there, and he can't go across there, so it'll be 4 or 5 into there. Oh, we'll see. But I'm not going to get another impulse to be able to move one of these units in there, and I've had my any one unit move of the day, so it does indeed mean this guy's going to go into out of supply. Not much I can do about it. Okay, I think I'm going to move one of these armoured units. Oops. 1, 2, 3 into Ettlebrook, just to keep them together. Now, I did think about putting one down, maybe just off camera, into Ardennes. There's no real great threat. Oh, yeah, well, they can't get up through that bridge either, though, can they? Because I've got zone of control here. I don't think there's a great threat towards R1. So I was wondering about maybe moving them elsewhere. Maybe even to Bastogne. I don't know, I mean, you don't want to move the Corps, spread the Corps too far away from its buddies though, yeah? Because I'm thinking if I do move these out and not bother about R1, then hopefully these infantry could come back in Ettlebrook and I could zoom down with one of the armoured units into R1 if things started going all wrong. So yeah, I think I am actually going to move these guys up to Bastogne. They can just make it with extended move. Sorry, what is it? Strategic movement for the Allies, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 into Bastogne. And part of my thinking is we're getting the 101st Airborne Division on the next day, so it'll be a bit more productive activating the 8th Corps, and that 8 Corps unit could maybe go and do something else with them, maybe if they wherever they happen to deploy, but and then at least Bastogne's still covered with the 2 armoured units. Yeah, I don't know. Right, I think I'll just go with that for now. I don't feel I'm making great choices, but yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. So there's no more cards obviously to draw. We've got 3 cards left in our hand. I'll just swing around and give you a quick look. So we've got a no command, the 8th Corps and the 5th Corps. The 8th Corps is a tank battalion. If not, I would maybe try and move that 9th armoured unit, but I might find a use for the tank battalion. This, well, I could put roadblocks down. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not making very great decisions, so maybe I should be putting roadblocks down. Or I could, maybe use it for engineers then, possibly. And the fifth core, well, we might just wait and see what happens, and maybe some of these fifth core units I could move. Right, okay. So that's us for now. So we'll get a German impulse along shortly, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, on with a German impulse. Just having a wee look. See how many cards I've got. There plenty of cards left. 3, 4, 10 cards left still. We've got 3. So I've got plenty to come. Right, let's see what we get. Okay, well, that's a division card, that's a primary core card, so that's going to be the... Oh, that's the 80 core though. One that I just talked about, and I opened a wee space to maybe... Oh, I can see that 9th armoured unit being in trouble now. I did think about moving it first. Ah, dear. Okay. Oh, and we're getting consolidation again. That's going to repair a point, I think, for them, isn't it? Sorry, I'm jumping all about there. So that's a command card. This is a support card, but it does have an event, consolidation, which I think adds a replacement point. Add 1 replacement step to the German formation on the command card for this impulse, not the formation on the supporting card. Aside, according to replacement step procedure, if the formation is activated in this impulse, the unit may act. So, yeah, just need to go and see what they do have. They're just here anyway, so this unit is reduced, isn't it? Yeah, it's just that one, but I dare say that could go back to full. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, just thinking there if it went back and overstacked the hex, but it would be 6 steps in the hex. Okay, so I think this is going to come and do this. Okay. This is interesting then. Because the condition for to receive replacements, a German unit must be able to trace reserve supply. So a unit must be in supply and able to trace supply in order to receive replacements. And a German unit must be able to trace reserve supply. I'm just looking at these guys, they're not, this bridge is down, so I'm just wondering if there'd been anything to restrict them moving. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything there's not a restriction that says if you move away from supply, is there? I don't think. Try to find the movement methods. Where are we? Restrictions. No, it doesn't want to let allied supply into things, but it doesn't talk about them not being able to trace supply, because all these units here can't trace supply. Let alone reserve supply, because this bridge is down. And they can't get up there, they can't get through over that bridge. Well, these aren't even German bridges, so yeah. So that's interesting. And then in the 19th, unless something happens, I mean, what they want if they get a bridge engineers event, they will repair that bridge. I think that's the only one that they can repair out of the 3, so, and then that would open the supply up for them. So, like I said, there's 10 cards in the, well, there's still another 8 cards to come, so, well, maybe, they might not. So, I don't think they can get, the event can be applied then, because this is the only other unit which can trace reserve supply, but he's not damaged. So, okay, so we're going to put that back in the support card box and move on to the command card. So we're going to activate 80 core. So they might move to somewhere where they, well, actually I don't think they will move to somewhere where they can trace supply, but right, well, we'll see. Okay, no roadblocks adjacent to any of their units. Now their core objective marker is in this hex. Their army objective marker, it's right here, Grant. As they are now, that's going to make a move then, isn't it? Because we've got a unit within 2 of that, so we're going to have to be adjusting that first. Okay, so I'm going to roll dice. It's in Mersh, so we roll 4. And Mersh, it goes to Habay Le Neuve. I'm sure I'm not getting that right, but okay, it's just west of R1 there. Here. So that means they're staying down low. So R1 could now be something to start. Well, mind you, I mean they've got to break through a little bit still. Don't think there's a mad rush, mind you. So what was that? Habay Le Neuve. It's west, so it stays the same west. Goes in here. Okay. And like I said, there's still one. Sorry, off camera again, Grant. There's still one allied unit within 3 of the core objective markers, so that stays where it is. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to see about moving them. Remember, they're a core. They've got a core objective, so it's 9.23. So one at a time, send an order. Move each unit toward an allied unit within 3 hexes. Well, this within 3 hexes of the core objective marker. Well, this is the only unit that's within 3 of the core objective marker. So this is going to be our focus. We're going to be targeting this guy. So yeah. So let me have a look. Okay, so select our number 2s first. So he can reach both these hexes. Now the first priority is a hex that's going to surround the unit. Now both the hexes would surround the unit. So then we're looking for unoccupied hex. They're both unoccupied. Then it's the easternmost. So I believe unit 2 is going to go 1 into there, and then 2, 3 into there, leaving a detachment here. So next is this armoured unit. Select number 3. So I don't think he'd be able to reach that hex anyway, but this is the empty hex that he can reach. So yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? 1, 2. An attachment there. Now what's this guy under here? Oh no, that's the guy. So I've got 5, 6, and then 7. Right. Yeah, unit 5's net, so he's only got 1. He can only reach this hex. So 1, 2. Put the armor on top. 3. And unit 6 Right, now he can reach an empty hex. Right, this could be an interesting one. Yeah, I think he's going to come across the river. Because this is an empty hex he can reach. It's not possible to reach that. No, it's not. This is an empty hex he can reach. Now I know it's coming across the river, but that is the second option to a non-occupied hex. And then if we also get tactical adjustments, then okay, they want to prefer a non-occupied hex. They want to prefer adjacent hex that is not across the river. But if it comes down to it, the tiebreaker is moving to an unoccupied hex takes precedence over avoiding a cross-river hex. So, pretty sure he goes in there. I mean, obviously if he could reach a hex that was unoccupied and not across a river, then he would choose that. But he cannot. So, Unit 7's the last one. So you can either go here or here actually. So he can't well, the unit's already surrounded. He can't reach an unoccupied hex, so he goes to the easternmost option. Like I say, he had day 2 choices, so now he is going to be leaving this town. Is that a problem? 1, 2, it is a problem. Okay. He's not going to do this then. In fact, he might well be enabling supply to trace to that town too by moving. So what's he going to do then? Okay, I think I've made a blunder down this corner. I've done this a few times before. Because I was just looking at this unit and saying, well, I don't think he can move anywhere. It does say move each unit towards an allied unit, and I thought if I got closer, but I think if I got to there, I was only 2 hexes away. It's not really moving towards him, but it's closer than what he is. And this would, allied supply is not traceable from here anyway. But allied supply can be traced off this map edge. Now, the only thing that could come into that, and what's making me worry about things is, look at this town here. I can't remember what movement I've just done, but this allied supply is traceable to that town. Yeah. Now the only thing is, remember there was a couple of towns that if you took, actually I think Konsdorf is one of them, that it closes supply off. Hang on a sec. Yeah, Konsdorf is one of them. Konsdorf then makes hex 2603 an invalid supply hex, which is this hex here. What worries me is, did I take Konsdorf before I was considered, because it's not something I was considering, to be honest. So I'm not sure. I mean, did I take Konsdorf while there was a unit still here maybe, or I get the feeling that I might not have. This might be one I might have to just let go, because, well, I'll see if I can have a little look and see maybe how it went. Okay, I did find what when the last movement, it wasn't, well, it's in part 4, 18th part 4, when these made an attack on Konsdorf, and they eliminated the unit. Now the positioning was, I don't want to get myself, well, let's just say this unit was here, and this unit had attacked from there. So supply wasn't traceable from there just now. Once this unit was eliminated, he advanced into there. Now supply is still not traceable, but that's then him taking Konsdorf and blocked that. So I think that would all happen at the same time anyway. But this unit was still here. He had, I think he might, well, I've not watched it. I think he advances in too, doesn't he? Yeah, because he's the last unit he's the unit that's left there, so he must advance in too. But once that first unit's advanced into Consdorf, that shuts off that hex for our supply. So yeah, we got away with that one, because I was not considering that, and it's only since just realising that the thing is, I can't really move this unit away. I mean, I can't even move it one hex closer, because this hex, well, in fact, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, I mean, this you can still trace off of this hex, can't you? It doesn't need to be a road. I always wondered about that at first, but I'm pretty sure, hang on. Yeah, 13.1, tracing supply path considerations. A unit or hex is in supply if a path of no more than 4 hexes can be traced from the unit or hex to a hex on a friendly map edge, or to a road hex that is a valid supply head. So yeah, admittedly there's no road to this hex, so you would have to trace. Yeah, but if I move here, for instance, yeah, in fact, even if I move here, you can, well, I can trace supply into there, but if I moved here, you can still trace supply from this hex. But I don't think he can move at all then. Now I know if Mersch gets taken, it shuts off. Oh, that's just off camera, Grant. It shuts off this hex. I would imagine the other two, yeah, this hex and this hex. But the certain road hexes on north. Is it not a bit strange that you could still trace into this hex though? I mean, if all these road hexes are shut off, and I move this unit away and leave that town empty, then allied supply can still be traced through this hex. That seems a bit off, does it not? But it's just the road hexes that supply shuts off to. That kind of means I can never really leave this town. Something must be wrong with that, surely. Means I'll never be able to leave that town empty. I must be missing something there, because that seems rather silly. Oh, and while I'm on it, I knew I would make. I'm sure I said I would make this mistake. These detachments aren't placed in map edge hexes or hexes adjacent to it, so that one shouldn't be there and that one shouldn't be there. Just looking up the top there, no, they're all okay, I think. I knew I would forget that one. Yeah, I'm finding that a bit strange, so there's a question. You know, am I missing something? Or if that town gets left empty, even if I control Mersch, all the road hexes are shut off to supply. But this hex and potentially this hex as well, you know, you could still get supply to. And 1, 2, 3, or 1. Right. Wouldn't mind knowing if my thinking of that's right, or if I'm missing something, guys. Let me know. However, I don't think he can move at all just now, anyway, because it's only this road that's got supply shut off to it. So I don't think he can make a move at all. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to say that he's going to have to stay put then. Okay, so that's all the movement. So we'll check for attack. Now there wasn't any active reserve units. We do however have assault coordination as a support card combat tactic. So that means we can include this unit in the determination. It's only going to be 1 more strength across the river, but however. So coming not across the river is going to be 8. Then we're going to have 1 across from that and 1 across from that. Yeah, so 4 reduced to 2. So that's going to be 10 to 3, which would be 3 to 1. However, he's in a forest, so that's 10 to 4, and that's going to be that. So 10 to 4, so it's going to be 2 to 1 odds. 2 to 1 odds. Tackles include the weeks. No. Army card. No. Support card shows applicable combat tactic. Yes. So 2 to 1 odds and a -1. Just about squeeze that in there. 2 to 1 odds, -1 on the dice roll. 7. So that's down to a 6. So that was 2 to 1. I bumped that guy. Am I right in thinking he was there? I think so. Yeah, just double checked. He was there. What was I doing again? Right, I rolled a 7, reduced to a 6. Right. Yeah, that's going to cancel that because it cancel with less than 2 to 1 or defenders in a town, and he is in a town. We had 2 to 1 odds, but he is in a town. So yeah, not happening. Unfortunately. So well, that was the only attack check to be made. So there wasn't any reserves. Move. Hang on, I forgot. Did I miss something there? No, it was if there was active reserves. Yeah, they would have done that before the attack. So. And we're not at the 20th yet to place IPs. Mind you, he's in a town anyway. And he can't bounce back to the reserves because he's sitting there himself. So, and I don't know, going by my reading of it, he's going to be sitting there for a long time. I don't know, must be missing something there. Come on, let me know, guys. Okay, so that's that impulse done, but we've still got the support card. Let's down this neck of the woods as well. So we're going to have a second impulse again with the 5th FJ. Now there should be 3 of them. Is it under here? Yeah. So we've got this guy, and this guy, which has been reduced. So we're going to activate them. Okay, so no roadblocks adjacent, and the army objective has just made a move. Oh, it's made another move as well. Must have knocked that as well. I was in that town anyway, which I can't really pronounce. I'll just make a mess of it. So they're going to move, and they've just got their army objective, so they're going to move with 9.2, and there's only the 3 infantry units, so I'll have a look, see what comes up first. Okay, I just got to move down to some of the infantry moves. Enter an empty town. I don't think there was anything to move to. I mean, it's move active infantry units each to an empty allied town hex, or to an empty German town to which allied supply can be traced. And for some reason I started looking at just these couple of towns here. Now, Allied supply is traceable to this town, but this town, I believe, got taken with a detachment, I think. So that could be the case that's Allied supply is traceable to that hex, and it's not that I've moved units and enabled Allied supply to trace to it. But this one here, dearie me, and we talked about this unit getting the chance to move, and is that not when he made that move? No, he was here, wasn't he? Yeah, that's when he made that move, because he was stopping. 1, 2, yeah, he was stopping. Oh, don't tell me you're going to have to rewind all that, Grant. Well, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Onto this road. Through this detachment. It's not a town, man, it would be marked. Through this detachment into here. Down through Houffalize, which doesn't appear to be German controlled. Through this detachment, and then down into Bastogne and away. Oh dear. Oh, that could be a shambles to try and fix that. So many little bits to watch out for, isn't there? And I get the feeling it was probably this unit moving away that's enabled that, because while he was there, that move that I've just explained wasn't possible because there was no gap here. So I was always thinking of I'm protecting from that, and it could well have been that up there was locked in at the time when I was first looking at that, and then I've not. All I've looked at is the fact that Wilts is now German controlled, so I don't need to concern myself anymore about Allied supply getting traced that way, which is true, but I should have had a look to make sure it couldn't be traced another way, and it looks like it can. Oh dear. I mean, I suppose that I could move this back. Because all it was is it made a move from there all the way to there, extended move. I could probably rewind that and fix it. Well, I think I should, really. I'm going to go back and watch the video and see if I can see, just in case. But I mean, I don't think the 47th have activated since. I mean, that was quite recent, wasn't it? You guys probably know better than me, because I'm stopping and starting and leaving things overnight and that. I can't remember. Well, we could look at the cards in the discard pile, I suppose. What am I looking for? It was just the last impulse, wasn't it? Because it was the division card. So at least it's not that long ago. But I spent that much time in making that move with the unit with the arrows that I think I've just uploaded that video now as well, so maybe somebody will spot that. Right, I'm just going to have a wee look. Yeah, it does appear I've made a blunder with moving that guy, because I just look back on things and yeah, Allied supply is still traceable. 1, 2, 3, 4 into there, down through Houffalize and away. And if something had went through Houffalize, I would have marked it. I don't think I would have missed something like that. So it's not. That's the issue. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put this guy back, and I don't know. I mean, he could still possibly move closer to his army objective, because he was trying to move with arrows there. So that's out the window now, after going through all that big explanation of it. So next movement method 11, closer to army objective, and he's want to try and get adjacent to an allied unit if possible. Bearing in mind these two 10th armoured units wouldn't be here at the time, but that's not going to matter because he can't move down towards there because as soon as he moves, well, I mean, as soon as he moves there, supply's traceable. Now, hang on though, he could be quite cheeky and, oh, hold on, could he still move with arrows and block this trace off? Yeah, because his first move, well, we said it was with arrows 1, 2, 3, 4, so he couldn't do that. But then we looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, because ending there actually would stop the supply, would it? Then again, he still wants to end in a hex. It's not adjacent to an allied unit, so he maybe still would want to go here, which I think would block that supply too. Let's say if he ended up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because he's blocking the supply. It can't go anywhere else. So he's actually blocking the supply there. If he was to try and extend his move. Oh man, where do you take this, so Grant? Come on. Well, oh no, I can't do that. I've just explained that you can't do that. I put a wee note in the video as well, because I said it a few times. Because extended move, you can't move adjacent. We've talked about that. So if he extended it into there for one, well actually that's 2 movement. It's still stopping the supply. And then, yeah, but if he extends it 1 more, that's as far as he could get. So I wonder if that's allowed then. He's not far away from where it was, but I think so. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's his full movement, and then you could even check supply there, and it would be blocked, and then extend it by 1 more only, and it's still blocked. Okay, you know what? That looks nice and simple fix. So I'm going to leave that one out there for you to have a look. And see if that's right. I think it probably is. I can keep moving until, I mean, I had to spend the full 5 movement to start with, which I did, and was still able to block supply at that time. And then I've extended it only 1 more, because if I extend it even further, I'm then breaking my restriction. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Let me know what you think, guys. And yeah, because I could do with wrapping things up here, run out of time. So let's just see if we can get this division card finished, because this could probably make the next part of the video. Could get it out there to you, and then if you think something different should be done there, then let me know. And also let me know about this down here, this supply issue down here at the thing. Right. Okay, move right through the infantry moves 5 to 9, so I'm on 10 to 13. So unit number 5 can't move the arrows. That would be just 1 down to there. So close to his army objective. His army objective's down that way, so even a move to here would, and I think that's where he's going to go. That's going to be 1 hex closer. It's also going to be adjacent to an allied unit, which there's 3 to 1 odds. I mean, and yes, he could go 1, 2, 3 into here, but he can reach an empty hex, so the tactical adjustments will do that, and he can't get down at this hex, which would be even closer, I suppose. So I think that's him. And now any restrictions been broken. We need to keep an eye on things like that. No, West Halls. Yeah, we need to watch that road. I'm saying that you need to get up to there because this road's, is that on the camera? Yeah, this road's shut off with these units. So it just was that I was able to reach this hex. Yeah. So I don't think there's an issue there. So then unit number 6, right? Well, no arrows. Close to his army objective. Ooh, probably not. No, he can't. Oh, there could be an infiltrate move here. No, because that unit underneath's not active. Yeah, no, he can't move. If this unit underneath had been an active unit, but it's not. It's only the 5th F division, FJ division. And then again, yeah, it just says a mechanised unit may not infiltrate across the river. So if that was active, he could well have infiltrated across the river. However, it is not active, Grant. So move on. Okay, so he would move adjacent to an allied unit. That's movement method 13, but he's already adjacent. So finally we've got this guy. He's got no arrows. He can move closer to his. How many steps is that? No, that's 6 steps in there already. So he's not going in there. Okay, yeah, looks good. Looks like this unit can actually go 1, 2 into there, and then 3 into there. This hex is 1 hex closer to his army objective over that one. And he's moving adjacent to an allied unit as well. So all works out well. Okay, so that's the 3 units. Well, he couldn't make a movement anyway, so... Right, let's see if they might make an attack on that guy then. Okay, so no reserves, no active reserves, no... What was that? I don't know, something beeped. No active reserves and no support card assault coordination. Oh yeah, it wouldn't matter because there's a guy there. So what we got? We've only got 3 coming not across the river, and then it would be, now remember it's just him that's active, so it'd be another 3, 5 coming across the river. So that's another 2. So it's only 5 to 3. However, he is in low supply, so I think that's, yeah, it's not him adjacent. Yeah, so 5 to 3, so that actually knocks it down to 5 to 2. So it is 2 to 1 odds. Yeah, 2 to 1 odds. Modifiers. No, there's not any. So 2 to 1 odds without any modifiers. Let's see what we got. A 6. He's in a town, because that's the same as we had the last time, wasn't it? It had to be, what was it, less than 2 to 1 or in a town. Yeah, cancel less than 2 to 1 or defender in a town. And yeah, he is, so he's getting away with that again. Okay. Now this time there's a possibility this guy might bounce back to the reserves though, because he's not done anything. Yeah, he is going to bounce back. Yeah, I wonder if it had to be another active unit that was there, but no. So the conditions are: unit do not move or attack. Unit is adjacent to an allied unit. It didn't come from the reserves this turn. It can trace reserve supply, which it can. And the removal of the unit from the hex would leave at least 2 steps in the hex. So, and if it's eligible, we'll remove that and place it in the reserve units box. So he's going to come into the reserves, and that is going to be that. So yeah, a few things a few things going wrong and a few questions to be answered. If you want to jump in, let me know your thoughts on these things that I'm not being 100% sure of. Okay, right, it's another long video, so I'll wrap it up there, and that'll be me for the day. So I'll be back with an Allied Impulse sometime soon, guys. Okay, cheers.